relative term. In baseball, 300 or 30% is a star hitter. In basketball, hitting 50% of your shots is better than Mike's career average. In business, the best manufacturers in the world strive to get it right 99.9997% of the time. And that is good, but not good enough for the public safety facilities and systems that support your fire, police, and EMD personnel and your citizens. Why? Because we understand your public safety services demand 100% of the time. From public safety centers to school systems, let Information Methods Incorporated help you realize both current and long-term technology goals in your facilities, systems, and IT service delivery. Visit our website at www.imi-us.com, www.imi-us.com, to find out why 100% is the only option in public safety.
This place is run by a bunch of children.
Welcome back. Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Bunker Bob, Wolfboy Jack, Vegetarian Vince, and Danger Wayne getting all, I don't know, freaked out with the autism thing here tonight. I don't know. The funny side of autism.
I'm not getting freaked out. You made it sound as if I was the one freaked out by it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
And Danger Wayne getting freaked out by the autism stuff. That's how it went.
My inflection and my intonation.
Proper English was not right. You got a British guy right here.
It was almost autistic the way I delivered that line, wasn't it? Yeah. Okay. I just kind of.
That's the real purpose of the show tonight.
Kind of rolled it in there.
Diagnosing you with autism.
And by the way, let me not forget that as I ran out of time going out to commercial break before, what I was trying to finish off saying was Simon Paul Charles Frost. I know that means nothing to you if you just tuned in, but we'll get to that. No, he's actually a famous British jazz guitarist. And he's going to be appearing at the Taiwan On for Autism event Friday, April 20th. That would be just a week from tonight, 5 to 9 p.m. The Compound Grill. Check out compoundgrill.com. And Lisa Masters is our guest here tonight. The funny side of autism. Funny things that children with autism do and say to their parents. No, that's not the. No, I misread the actual. It's just funny things that they do and say.
Yeah, they could say it to a teacher, anybody.
Well, like we talked about earlier, the fat guy who they grabbed his belly and said,
exactly.
"You got a baby in there?"
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great stuff.
Now, how were they not to know he hadn't eaten a baby?
You know, that's a story in the book. It is. A little boy saw, like, his mom was pregnant, and he looked at her. He goes, "Mom, did you eat the baby?"
Oh, eat me a baby.
Get in my belly. So tell us some other funny things either your kids have said or some other anecdotes from the book, if there's any you want to share.
I took my son to the hospital a few months back for some tests, and I figured, okay, this is a good teaching opportunity. Get out in the community. He can kind of make his way. He's 14, so took him up to register, and the woman looks at him, and she says, "What's your first name?" He says, "Brandon." She says, "What's your last name?" He says, "Masters." She says, "Spell it." He says, "Masters." She says, "Date of birth?" He says, DATEOFBIRTH.
You know, I'm surprised he didn't say to her, "I need to spell masters for you."
He was just
what
following
are you, a
directions.
retard or what?
Yeah.
No filter.
No filter. No filter here either.
Yeah. You know, I have a brother who's schizophrenic, and the no filter thing is in that illness as well, oftentimes.
It's in a lot, yeah.
Yeah, it's just kind of that real blunt, doesn't. And some of the disconnect thing, not as serious as autism, but some of the disconnect thing of just not getting it. It's like somehow there's a little bit of a filter there. Oh, wait a second here. We want to move over for a quick second to Simon Paul Charles.
My sidekick.
He was gentleman jazz guitarist.
The sidekick.
Now, you were raising your hand as in you're disconnected or what?
No, it's a level of
ADD. You said
it's like but it's different. It's like looking in from up here. Everybody else sees stuff square on, can assess it and evaluate it, and can condition their responses accordingly. But I don't get that. I have a weird way of looking at things. For instance, quick story.
This surprises me though, because as a musician, there's a complexity to your wiring.
There is. Oh, and we'll talk a little bit about music therapy in a little while.
Okay.
But a quick story. I'm working in a recording studio, and it wasn't my time to play, so I'm sitting in the back room having a coffee and playing acoustic guitar, enjoying myself. Eric Clapton was recording yet another comeback in there about 1978. So he walked out to the coffee lounge, and he walked over to the television in the corner of the room, cranked the thing up, put his face about 6 inches in front of it. Well, I was a bit offended. I thought it was a bit rude because I was playing guitar and it was pretty. So I played it a little bit louder. And he turned round and he said, "Will you shut up? I got $10,000 on this horse race." And there was a horse race on TV. And I simply said to him, "I'm terribly sorry. I didn't realise my playing was disturbing the horses." I believed it. That's the issue, though.
That's the issue.
I thought, I bet, if it's disturbing, I was scaring them.
So from his reaction, did he win or lose?
I would have eaten furniture if somebody hadn't handed him a bottle of Courvoisier.
Oh, okay. All right.
Well, I will say this. With the kids' talents, these are marketable talents a lot of them have. There's
Sure.
Many child prodigies out in the world have Asperger's. We need to look at it at a different angle. Yeah, you can look at their deficits and their challenges, but look on the other side. They're funny. They have amazing talents that society can benefit from, and we need to foster those.
So will you become their agent with your children?
Maybe. Whatever their talent is, I will develop it to the end.
An artist,
We're working on it. Next year he starts design class. My younger son, I got to get him into some kind of computer tech thing that will challenge him. That's the hard part with him, is challenging him, because he is so advanced. He's almost better being self-taught. In his own mind, he has to constantly keep working. School is not his favorite thing. He can't stand school.
Right. A lot of people with that kind of issue, it's not at their wavelength, so they want to do their own thing.
Exactly.
So you just need to send his resume to Bill Gates or something.
That's a good idea.
I mean, he's probably the kind of person that would read that resume.
Yeah, he'd do well in like a NASA program or something. That would be his thing.
Lisa Masters, The Funny Side of Autism, here tonight at Crowded Planet Radio, Independent Talk, 1100 KFNX. Funny Things Children with Autism Do and Say. That's the book. And Tie One On for Autism is an event Friday, April 20th, to benefit autistic children. Tell us a little bit. Event benefits the Autism Society. This is evidently, there'll be some funds raised, that sort of thing. What does that money go toward? Because that's something I want to touch on a little bit as well. People that have children like this yourself, this is a very full-time situation. How does healthcare come into this? How do you hold a job yourself? I mean, give us a little bit of both this. So for the money from the event, how does that go out to help people?
Well, I decided to keep it local. So the Autism Society Greater Phoenix chapter is where the money's going to go. They do a lot of advocating, support, research. So they'll use that money, to support those things. When, when the government wants to chop funding, it takes money to fight that. And so they help with that. They do support groups. They're a great resource for families, because autism is devastating to families.
They're a great resource then from the macro standpoint, that they can, like you said, have support groups, things of that nature. But then on the micro level, what do parents do? I mean, I heard that, autism, they said the statistic at one point, 10 years ago was 1 in 150 kids. I heard that it's 1 in 88 now.
That's the latest stat, yep.
So this is not a minor problem for our society. There's lots of parents ever growing with this. What do they do as far as, health needs and any financial support? Is there anything, in healthcare that helps this at all, as far as, money that you might need for, let's say, going to some of these therapeutic things and that? I mean, we're going to talk about music therapy and that sort of thing as well. Who pays for all that?
Well, the state, through developmental disability, that division, they do offer services like habilitation, speech therapy, occupational therapies. The school does offer programs. It's been cut significantly the amount of hours, the pay. My kids used to receive music therapy, but then they chopped the income that the therapists were getting by almost more than 50%.
I was going to say,
it's awful.
50% is like the magic number, it seems like, with so many programs right now really being slashed. So are you kind of on your own? Are you like,
Many families are. It's a major struggle, and this is where we need the awareness. We need the funding, desperately need the funding. The numbers are growing. We got to find out what's triggering this. We got to take care of the kids that have the diagnosis. We got to have the programs in place. These kids are going to get older. They're going to need maybe assisted living or support, some of them, when they get older. You want to get them while they're young so you can minimize that need when they're older, if you can.
So let's look at like a day-to-day thing here for a moment. You have 2 kids. And obviously then you've connected with other families that have children with autism. So one of you needs to go out for an evening or something, and you need a babysitter. So maybe the standard babysitter down the street can't handle your kids, but a parent who has autistic kids themselves, do they bring their autistic kid and then they kind of camp out at your house because they can handle and understand what's going on, and that's part of what the help is? Or
no, it's very isolating. It's very severe. It's very isolating because most parents, we have hours of therapies coming in the house. The children might not travel well. They're overstimulated. It's easier to be in the comfort of your own home. So it's not easy to leave. And on the flip side, sometimes it's hard to bring. You can't just have a stranger watch your kid. So if you're fortunate to have a family member, like I have my mom, some other families, sometimes many people don't have that. They can't get out. This is why, I developed the blog I did, because these people are trapped in their homes. It's very difficult if you have a severe kid who goes out in public and they're tantruming and flapping and screaming and they're covering their ears because the sounds are just too overstimulating and their nervous system just can't handle it. You're not going to go out. You're not going to go through that. You're going to just stay home and deal with it.
Well, that's the thing, is that hypersensitivity aspect. I know that even with my brother with the schizophrenic aspect, a routine environment for him is the best.
Yes.
Because if he's in a situation that there's too much change that he's not accustomed to, he can kind of have an episodic situation where he'll just morph out into like becoming delusional.
Right. These kids, the routine is very important so they know what to expect so they don't have a meltdown. And their sensory needs, they can be overstimulated, or some kids are just super sensitive to touch, or you can be undersensitive where it takes a lot to get them to feel pain. Mm-hmm. So you have to be aware of the sensory surroundings and give them their sensory needs to get better behaviors out of them.
Yeah. We're speaking with Lisa Masters, author of The Funny Side of Autism. She is the mom of 2 autistic young men. The funny things that children with autism do and say is what the book is about. And we're also here talking tonight about Tie One On for Autism, an event coming up to benefit autistic families. Check out compoundgrill.com. That's where the event will be held 1 week from tonight. If you would like to attend the event and make a donation or enjoy their buffet dinner, music, entertainment, goodie bag, the book, a raffle, it sounds like it's going to be a heck of an event. And, of course, you're not going to want to miss Simon P.C. Frost, famous British jazz guitarist.
And sidekick.
And sidekick will be entertaining there. I want to know about Rain Man when we come back and the comparisons with that. Crowded Planet Radio, stay tuned.
Hi, I'm Steve Cates, host of A Call to Rights here on KFNX. If you haven't heard our show every Saturday from noon to 2, you're missing out on the greatest in news, commentary, and guests discussing your rights under our Constitution. The latest updates on how to protect your rights from an out-of-control government. And you'll learn our most important motto, how never to be a victim. If you're concerned with the direction our country is going, tune in and learn how to help take it back. Take back your rights on A Call to Rights with me, Steve Cates, Saturdays at noon on KFNX.
Picture